I can still feel the chill of that courtroom air slicing through me. 68 degrees of sterile cold that made my knuckles whiten as I gripped the edge of the wooden table. Not from nerves. Though, no. That would have been too easy. Too expected. I'd been holding the storm inside for 18 long months, letting it brew in the quiet corners of my mind. And now, finally, it was ready to break. The room smelled like polished oak and faded ink, echoes bouncing off the high ceilings like whispers of judgment. Marcus sat across from me, flanked by his high-powered lawyer, Mr. Hargrove, in a suit that screamed old money. And there, right behind him in the spectator row, perched Sophia. Her legs crossed elegantly in an ivory silk dress I'd traced to a $3,800 charge on what used to be our shared account. She wore this smirk, like she'd already claimed the throne, her victory etched in every confident tilt of her head. Marcus looked sharp. I'll give him that tailored navy suit, tie knotted just so, hair combed back with that effortless arrogance. He'd always known how to play the part of the self-made king. For the last 2 hours, I'd sat there, stone-faced, as he spun his version of our life on the stand. Emily contributed to our home, he drawled, voice smooth as silk over gravel. She was a devoted partner. But Reed Properties? That empire was mine, my sweat, my risks, my vision. I started from scratch. Scratch. The word landed like a slap. But I didn't flinch. I'd learned to bury the rage. Let it simmer until it could burn him where it hurt most. Mr. Hargrove had laid it out like a scripted drama, flipping through glossy folders of deeds, accounts, and valuations all in Marcus's name, all tied to Reed Properties LLC. Your Honor, he'd said, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses with a flourish. Mr. Reed offers fair alimony for transition. But the company, the holdings, these are solely his creation. Judge Elena Martinez, mid-50s with keen eyes framed by silver-streaked hair pulled tight, had nodded along, her face a mask of impartiality. I'd studied her record, decades in family court, a reputation for seeing through the smoke. Now, as we edged into asset division, Marcus rose abruptly, shrugging off his lawyer's restraining hand. Your Honor, I need to speak plainly. The judge arched a brow. You've testified, Mr. Reed. But he pressed on, turning to lock eyes with me cold, triumphant. The man who'd forgotten I existed long before he strayed. Emily thinks she can walk away with half my life's work, he said, voice dripping venom. But let's be real, she'll never lay a finger on my fortune again. The words echoed, a gasp rippling through the gallery. Sophia leaned in, her voice a honeyed dagger. That's right. Darling. Darling in open court. During his divorce. The audacity twisted something deep in my gut. But I held still, hands folded, breath even. Judge Martinez turned to me. Mrs. Reed? I met her gaze steadily. No response. Your Honor, my proof will stand on its own. Daniel Brooks, my attorney, 62. With a grandfatherly warmth that hid a shark's instincts, rose beside me. Your Honor, before we wrap, I have key documents for review. He handed over a thick, sealed envelope. The one I'd prepared alone the night before. My pulse steady despite the weight of it all. The judge cracked the seal, her eyes scanning page after page. At first, nothing, just professional scrutiny. Then, on the third sheet, a flicker, brows knitting. By the fifth, she let out a sharp, incredulous chuckle that cracked the tension like lightning. She looked up, straight at Marcus. Her smile edged like a blade. Game over. Relief flooded me. hot and fierce, cracking the dam I'd built around my heart. Marcus's smirk shattered. What the hell is that? His lawyer scrambled for a peek, but the judge held firm, reading on, her amusement fading to steel resolve. We'll need your client's rebuttal, she said to Hargrove. Review this overnight. Recess until 9 a.m. Tomorrow. Marcus's voice broke, actually broke, as he demanded answers. But I rose calmly, smoothing my modest gray skirt, and walked out past his stunned glare and Sophia's bewildered frown. For the first time in years, the weight on my chest lifted. I felt alive. It started innocently enough. Or so I told myself back then. I was 24, fresh out of business school, working as a junior analyst at Keller Financial when Marcus bumped into me at a real estate mixer, literally, knocking my portfolio of market reports to the floor in a cascade of papers. He was 28, in worn work boots and a flannel shirt, ranting about urban revitalization deals. Damn. I'm sorry, he muttered, fumbling to help. Let me fix this. His clumsiness was endearing, raw ambition shining through the mess. We ended up talking late into the night over cheap bar food. He dreamed of flipping run-down properties into gold mines, but admitted he was drowning in the numbers, budgets, loans, projections. You're a wizard with this stuff, he said, eyes wide as I sketched out a basic cash flow model on a napkin. Teach me. I did. We dated for 7 months before he proposed on a rainy park bench. No ring yet because we were scraping by. It felt real. Grounded. Marcus was a hands-on builder, skilled with tools, but clueless about finance. His first big score, a foreclosed townhouse in the East Side District, going for $70,000 cash. He had $9,000 saved. Renovations would eat another $25,000. It's impossible, he groaned one night in my cramped apartment, head in hands. I hesitated, then pulled from my own nest egg $52,000 I'd squirreled away since my first job. Lessons from my frugal parents echoing in my mind. Consider it our investment, I said. He stared, then pulled me close. Our future. We eloped at City Hall. Me in a thrift store lace dress. Him in borrowed slacks. 2 weeks later, I cashed out $45,000, penalties be damned, and we closed the deal. Marcus handled the sweat equity. I crunched the numbers. Lined up permits. Haggled with suppliers. We flipped it for $290,000 profit after costs, $85,000 clear. We did this, he whispered, spinning me in joy. The we warmed me like nothing else. Flips 2 and 3 snowballed. By year 3, Marcus quit day jobs. We hired a small crew. I incorporated Reed Properties LLC, both our names as partners. I managed the back end, accounting, compliance, vendor deals while he scouted sites. But by year 6, cracks formed. Marcus attended galas solo. Rest up. You deserve it. Introductions shifted, not my co-founder, just my wife, Emily. Year 9. He outsourced finances to a fancy firm. No offense, but we're scaling up. My degree? Dismissed. You've earned downtime. I stepped back, doubting myself. The isolation creeping in like fog. By year 11, Marcus's stories at dinners erased me, bootstrapped from zero. Once, I interjected lightly, actually. My savings seeded it. He laughed it off. Chipped in a bit, repaid in spades with our lifestyle. Like I'd been a lender, not a builder. Then the signs, late meetings, charges for jewelry I never wore. Dinners for 2. Sophia appeared, his assistant, 28. All polish and poise. I didn't confront, instead. I rented a safe deposit box at Union Bank. Slot 926. Copies piled up, original filings, statements, deeds. I sensed the shift. The betrayal festering unspoken. The text that shattered it all pinged on a crisp October afternoon. Marcus's phone buzzed on the counter while he showered. Miss you already. Love. Tonight at our spot. From office supply vendor. My world tilted. But no tears came, just a hollow ache. Like I'd been gutted and left to echo. He emerged humming. Pecked my cheek. Late client dinner, don't wait. I nodded. Numb. That night, I tailed him to the upscale waterfront towers. Watching him vanish inside. I confirmed the unit, 1402. Leased under a dummy corp. Home by midnight. I feigned sleep as he slipped in at 2 a.m. The next day, the box became my arsenal. I scoured public records, every flip, every transfer. Discovered the restructure in year 7, my name scrubbed from Reed Properties. New LLC solo in his. I'd signed blindly, trusting. But California law? Community property, half mine. Titles be damned. Deeper, discrepancies in tax filings versus real sales. Underreported income. Puffed expenses. Fraud. Months blurred into midnight spreadsheets. Affidavits from old crew. Emily sealed that deal. Saved us thousands. Tailed Sophia. Spa days on company cards. A Porsche in her name via a shell entity. Unearthed 2 shadow LLCs. Harbor Investments. Bayview Holdings funneling rentals offshore. A Cayman transfer. $250,000 vanished. He'd been fortifying against me for years. The betrayal a slow poison. I vetted lawyers meticulously. Daniel Brooks stood out, methodical, unyielding. At our meet, I unveiled my binders. He whistled. You've built an ironclad fortress. 3 months later, I marched into Reed Properties' sleek lobby. Envelope in hand. The receptionist blinked. Mrs. Reed. Marcus's office. Him at his desk. Sophia lounging nearby. I shut the door. Divorce papers. 30 days to respond. Shock rippled. He raged. Half my empire? You're delusional. Our empire, I corrected. Sophia edged out. I stopped her. The waterfront penthouse. Portia, all marital funds. I'll reclaim them. Marcus bellowed. You'll get zilch. I left amid stares. Adrenaline surging. The prelude to court. Frozen accounts. I'd prepped my own. Changed locks. I'd relocated. He slandered me in circles. Court day. I in tailored black. Composed. Marcus arrived smug. Sophia in tow. Testimony. His narrative of solo triumph. Daniel dismantled it. Seed money unrepaid. My early role proven. Lunch break. Marcus sneered past me. You'll never touch my money again. Sophia echoed. Exactly. Babe. Fuel to my fire. Post-recess. Daniel's envelope unleashed. Judge Martinez's laugh. Game over. Overnight. Marcus crumbled. Next morning. No Sophia. Ruling. My co-founder status affirmed. Fraud exposed shells. Offshore. IRS whistleblower tip. I'd filed anonymously. Reward pending. 70% assets to me, including majority stake in Reed. Spousal support. $15,000 monthly. 10 years. Fraud penalties. He covered my fees. Get criminal counsel, she warned. The feds are coming. Outside. Sun warmed my skin. Daniel, you orchestrated this masterfully. He showed me the game, I replied. For God, I learned it better. Weeks later, $8.1 million transferred my share. IRS reward, 25% of $9.2 million recovered, $2.3 million more. I launched Silent Guard Consulting, empowering women to safeguard assets pre-divorce. No pink bows on revenge, it cost me trust. Years of silence. But in that void, I found steel. Marcus? Facing audits. Charges. Empire fracturing. The price of betrayal. Everything he thought was his now echoes in the ruins he built.